When I turned 16, I was not popular in school. I was, seen as not one of the most the lookers, put it that way. And I had two options that I saw to myself. I thought that I either blame women or I blame myself for my shortcomings, and I chose to blame myself, and that did me a load of good. I blamed myself so I could exponentially improve, and I did. I made a massive difference to myself between being 16 and 17. I started going to the gym. I started using all these different face products. I started changing my pillowcase out. I started doing my hair properly, and I did find an immediate response, I suppose, to all of that. I found myself a lot more popular, a lot more desirable, and I got a lot more attention from women from doing all of that. But I found myself in the same situation that I found myself when I was 16, in a situation where no one seems to really desire me. No one seems to want to be with me. It's a very strange situation because I don't lack attention from women. I have plenty of attention from women. When I go on dating sites, I get quite a lot of attention. The women I know, they tell me I'm good looking. They say I'm attractive. But sometimes that's not what you want to hear. It's all good hearing that you are attractive, hearing that you are good looking. But that's not something that I hold as a core value. I don't want to be told I'm good looking if it doesn't amount to anything. I want to be happy with someone. I want to be able to share my time with someone else and enjoy it. I don't consider myself a very happy person. I do struggle quite a bit with how lonely I get when I'm on my own, and it just feels insulting sometimes when I see, there are these girls that do like me, but they don't see me as a boyfriend, or they don't see me as a potential date or anything. They just see me as I don't know, they just see me as someone to look at, I suppose. Yeah, it is quite annoying. I had a conversation with a girl recently, and she really liked me. She had a massive crush on me for the first year and mostly the second year. I'm in my second year, well, I would be anyway. But I talked to her about it at a party, and I said to her, I've only got more attractive than I was from the first year. This is we could go on a date. I'm happy to start seeing you. And she said no. And I said to her, why not? You always say that you like me. You always say that I'm that I'm good looking. I know you like me. Why would you not want to go on a date with me? And she said that I'm like her celebrity crush, but she could never see herself getting with me. I try to stay away from the kind of anger that can be felt in those situations. I really do. But it's just becoming more and more difficult to me because that's difficult to hear. When I see people my age getting with other people for a lot less without knowing their personality on looks, and then I have people saying that to me, and that's not the first, that's maybe the third in the last 3 months, to be honest. It strikes me as almost unfair because I don't want to be desired. I don't want to be looked at. I don't want to be seen as attractive. What I want is to feel comfort, and I don't feel comfort. I wake up pretty sad. I go to bed pretty sad. I go on my day pretty sad. I have two things that I like. That's going out and playing football. And I'm able to play football less and less because I've got an issue with my shins. That I played football today and it was so bad that a lot of it I was just sat down, kind of rubbing them, and it was too painful for me to do anything. I just, I just feel it's a bit unfair. I feel like some people get a lot more than me and they put in a lot less. I really want to stay as I am. I really want to keep my mentality of that it's me that's the problem. I really want to keep my mentality that I can do more to progress, I can do more to earn the things that I want. But I'm finding it increasingly harder to stay away from that. And I hate to say it, but stay away from that kind of red pill mindset. It's getting more and more difficult for me. Because sometimes there's only so much you can blame yourself before you turn to blame other people. I don't want to steep to that low, I don't want to stop blaming other people. I don't want to be anti-women or whatever, That's not who I am. But when I have this happening in front of me so many times, it just makes me miserable. And when I get miserable, when people get miserable, they look to other things to blame, to confirm their misery, I suppose. And I'm worried I'm falling in that category, I do a lot to try and stay above it. It takes a lot of convincing of myself to try and stay above that threshold, that who to blame, I suppose. And I had that mentality for 4 years, say, when I started taking care of my looks. I had that mentality of it's my fault. There's more I could do, There's more I could do to be appealing. There's more I could do to better myself. And I don't just mean that in looks, I mean that in every way. Personality, charm, whatever. But it just becomes very difficult to keep that mentality when you feel like you're doing everything you can. I use so many different face products, hair products. My hygiene is unmatched. I feel like I'm always operating at my best, and I still fall short of the things I want. So it is difficult keeping that mentality, but hopefully this video will serve to keep myself in that mental state, because I feel like if I succumb, let's say, to this sort of rhetoric that I'm seeing online of it's like hypergamy or something. The idea that you have to be born naturally attractive, and then all the women will go for you, and whatever men below that. It's ridiculous, but I feel like that's the extreme. But if something doesn't happen soon, if I don't get some release soon, then maybe I'll start at the foot end of that, and I really don't want to. I want to be who I am. I want to keep myself as the person I am. I want to hold my morals right. So hopefully I do. I really do want to. I want to stay a good man. I feel like there's a lot of dignity in holding those morals, and I want to stay a good man.